What's good, y'all? It's Pod.cannion, and I am back with another video. Now, this is a little bit different, and before I even start this video, I want to say I am not in a sober mind right now. That's all I can say about that. Um, got a little bit of the alcohol, green, and a little bit of the shrooms in my system, but I really felt like this was an important topic, and it's crazy because 2 months ago, I swore I was like, no matter what Kanye does, I promise you, this is the video. This is all you need to know is that he's doing this for attention, all that, and this, that, and the third. And I still think that. I still definitely think he's doing this for attention. But it's just something that he brought up that I feel like it would be wrong if I didn't at least bring this up for discussion. Obviously, and it's crazy, right? Because I want to be able to recall this just right, but I offer it. No, I'm not going to be able to because I'm type gone right now. But I really feel like this needs to be said in some way, shape, or capacity. So, like, pretty much with Ye, and y'all bear with me now. Like, I'm trying to figure out, or at least recall, what event was it this time that made Ye feel like, people are talking about that. That's getting a little bit too much attention. Let me try to bring the attention back on me. And, like, it's getting the attention, I feel like, for the wrong reasons. Now, I guess I'll just explain, like, what situation I'm talking about. Which Kanye tweet am I referring to? I'm referring to the Cousins tweet, the one where he made this snippet, and it wasn't the song that was disturbing, it was the background of the song that was disturbing, and I feel like needs a bigger dialogue than what it has been having. Now, to put it short, Kanye pretty much said that when he was younger, him and his younger cousin would look at dirty magazines together. And they would um, do some of this stuff in the magazines. Um, Now, these are like, I'm pretty sure, like homosexual magazines that his mom had. And apparently, like, yeah, this is like child on child abuse. Um, and it's crazy because Kanye is the abuser. He was doing that stuff with his cousin up until like the age of 14. That means between the age of 6 to 14, that's almost 10 years of repeated abuse for however frequent that was. Now, I feel like the part that people are missing, that people are hyper focusing on, is yes, that was a homosexual magazine, which would mean that if Ye was doing the stuff off of the homosexual magazine, that would mean he would be doing some homosexual activities. Now, me personally, I don't think that's something that people should care about, but I seen some. I'm not gonna act like it's not all funny. It just the way that, like, it's not a funny situation at all, but the way that people present it and react to it, it's a little funny. If you know the Boondocks, Riley, when he finds out Gangstalicious is a little on that side, he's like, you mean my favorite artist was gay? Does that mean that I'm gay? Like, people were retweeting, people were reposting that, and it's like, yes, with the context clues, you can come to that conclusion because, I mean, obviously, if A plus B equals C, like, you know what leads to what. But it's like, I don't think that's the focus of this discussion that we should be having. Now, obviously, in this climate, in this day and age, when people hear gay, when people hear a little on the sweet side, they want to over exaggerate, they want to do all this and that. But with me, I don't think that is worth like a reaction. What I think is worth a reaction in this is the fact that, okay, and y'all hear me out with this, right? Because on one aspect, Kanye would always like openly like, say he was a porn person, and then he would like he would always intertwine himself in the industry. And when you look at the history of what he, like how he went about it, you would realize that it was a repeated cycle of doing that, then feeling really shamed about it, blaming porn for its existence, then going back on that side again. It would be like a flip flop. And I'm not gonna say I'm educated on like P addiction and all of that. Like it could, you know what I'm saying? Like I never put stuff off the table, but I feel like it's much deeper than that. Um, because you gotta think. This is something that if Kanye didn't start his spiral, we wouldn't have known about this. And I feel like there is a level of importance. And once again, it's like these are important discussions. I just hate that it's Kanye that is initiating this. But it's like, dude, when you think of like abuse songs and stuff, like unless it's like satire or like unless they're like it's like a Eminem type of thing, you only really hear songs from the victim's perspective. It's very rare, almost never. Yeah, y'all see me. Uh, right. It's very rare that you see songs or hear songs like without them outwardly being like exaggerating shit. It's very rare that you hear songs and shit from the abuser's perspective. And obviously, him being a child at the time when he was doing this, it doesn't make him completely innocent, but it does have at least some type of discussion of he didn't entirely know and then he did stop it. But one powerful thing, not really powerful, but like really self aware, that he realized and acknowledged that it could be a possibility that him doing that stuff to his family member at such a young age, that causes trauma. That can cause people to go off the deep end to do stuff like kill people. And it's like he feels that guilt in that. And I really feel like that tweet is one of that tweet in that song. I haven't even listened to the song. It's just the subject matter of it. It really feels like that tweet in that song was like one of the first times he was able to vent and express his like guilt about it. Now, once again, Kanye with his attention seeking self, the way he went about it and tweeted it, he could have laid that out better. But once again, when it's your first time venting something, when it's your first time like finally setting something free that you've been ashamed of, I don't really like I feel like it's expecting too much for someone to do that because you know what I'm saying, do it correctly. Because I honestly feel like it was a huge weight off his shoulders the moment that he was able to say that. But even still, there is like a perspective of, dude, had to kill it. Had to kill it. I got his ass too. Sorry. But yeah, it's like, fuck, dude. It's like it's open for discussion, because things like this, not like exact scenarios like this, but abuse within families, especially black households, to the point where like the abuse will happen, but they keep it in the family. They like, I was rolling up. I'm trying to see why my hand was black though. But yes, they not like keep it in the family like Ye was doing, but well, yeah, some of them actually do, and um, they'll use the disguise of you don't want to bring another black man down. He just fell short in this one time. But it's like with these type of situations, sometimes even if it is family, you have to have some type of accountability or you're just going to continue to repeat the cycle. And I feel like and this is something that like I don't feel like I've broken down a lot to the point where like y'all will get it. But like a lot of like the stigmas behind like don't get with no white woman or she gon' do you like Jonathan Majors and Shannon Sharp. But I also think that with us, we also as like a black people group, we have to hold others accountable when they do shit that is unacceptable. And I feel like because we have this like sort of understanding that like we've gotten the short end of the stick, so like we have more empathy for each other, even though there is stuff that we really should continue to hold people accountable for, and it's not all within us. Like a lot of times we have to like we are still learning like the right way to do this stuff, the right way to go about life in general. And you're bound to mess up, you're bound to do stuff. But instead of holding each other accountable and having us move forward, we like to cover up each other's mistakes so that we don't look bad in front of like another group of people. And it's like, no. With certain instances, like Jonathan Majors, where he was clearly convicted, he was literally found guilty, and we still find a way to be like, no, it was the white lady who did that. And people are like, if was a black lady, this wouldn't have happened. But if you really think about what you're saying when you say if he was with a black lady that would have happened, you're saying pretty much that because she was white, she was more likely to speak out against Jonathan Majors. And if it was a black lady, she would be more likely to be shamed into silence for bringing down a black brother. And I feel like that's a stigma we should fucking stop. Because when we protect other than hold our own people accountable, how do you expect us to get better? How do you expect us to continue to elevate if we are continually, instead of healing the scars, just continue to hide them and act like everything's just fine? It's not. Because stories like that with like Kanye and his cousin, it's a lot more common. Not like that exact scenario, but scenarios similar to that are a lot more common than you might think. And the fact that people will continue to sweep it under the rug, act like it never happened, that does not solve the problem. It will only make it drag on. So, when you re-listen to something like Family Business, which is which was one of my favorite Kanye songs, you like you realize that there are certain things in the way that they say things where you're like, "Oh, I can literally never listen to this the same again." And not just soon as you're gone, now that you're gone, it hit us. Like, they feel bad that the cousin isn't there anymore. They never say the reason he was there, and Kanye, on a deeper level, realizes that he is kind of responsible, in a way, for his cousin falling off the deep end, and now he realizes
that this caused crazy ripple effects that not even he could have seen in the moment, that he didn't think would have happened. But now that the ripple effects are here, now that they have been made themselves known, it's like, damn. And what do they say, like, at the, not the end of the song, but what's like the end hook? We ain't letting all of them into our family business. Now, obviously, there's a difference between outright airing your cousin out and being like, you know, he's in prison for life, obviously for this reason. We don't like that and all of that. I'm not saying be that type of accountable, but there could have been some actual conversations. He could have got like actual resources for help. But I feel like what likely happened is Kanye himself, probably being the older cousin, started to realize around whatever, like 14 or something, that what he was doing is wrong. So he said, we can't do this anymore. And probably with like no real explanation, something they've been doing on the side for some reason for like a couple of years. And then you just realize, oh, I got cut off. A lot of people who don't have like the proper resources to be able to like outlet their emotions, to be able to like decipher what emotions they're feeling. If people don't have those options or representation to really gauge like what is coming over them, what they are feeling, the I say this all the time. Whatever emotion you don't express, it will turn into anger. Y'all haven't, I don't think I haven't shot the adolescent review yet, but that is like one of the key things about why that kid done did it. He did not have the proper outlet to be able to handle rejection. So, what would that rejection turn into? Instant anger. And that's when you link the dots. That's when you connect the dots. So it's like the more that we sweep stuff under the rug and not address and help equip ourselves with like the tools to actually navigate and go through our problems, we will continue to run into issues like this. We will continue to have problems like this. Because if we don't solve it, if we act like it's not there, it does not make the problems go away. You gotta keep on trying. Like, you have to. And I don't even know if I'm making much sense right now, but I feel like this is something important. And all, like, the only discussion I've seen is, oh, Kanye's gay. My favorite rapper's gay. And it's like, no, it's so much deeper than that. It can be so much deeper than that. And it's like, I don't know, dog. Like, maybe I'm just tripping. Maybe I'm just tripping. But it's when, like, dude, it's like when I see, like, something like that for cousins, this ain't even the, like, I really feel like this is about to get worse with the Kanye thing. But this is, like, one of the first times where, like, I really felt compelled to talk about it. And when you go back to other tweets, like him defending Diddy, him like he is a Diddy. I'm not gonna lie. Not in the aspect of actually like assaulting people, like without their consent, as far as I know. But he hit he hit certain wives. He was, in my opinion, closeted bisexual, kind of just like Diddy, and not really like in the closet, but like I guess when you see certain like narratives of like all the stuff Diddy did, and people are focused on the fact that he's gay. No Diddy. And it's like with Kanye's perspective, him kind of being in the closet, this is just me speculating, making guesses and stuff. But with Kanye's perspective, him being in the closet and seeing all the stuff that Diddy did, and people are just worried about that, it can kind of put a weight on your shoulders like, dang, how will the people turn on me when they figure that I'm a little, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I think might have been going through Kanye's perspective because no matter how much Kanye will act like he's a one of a kind, he is like a trailblazer. At the end of the day, he is a slave to our opinion and our attention for him. So he will do whatever it takes. He will go to any length to maintain our attention of whatever he's doing. It doesn't matter. Like he will yeah, anything. So with this, I do feel like this is honest. Like I'm taking this 100% honest. Like I don't think this is a troll. I think this is something that he had on his conscience for a long time and he finally was able to vent it. And it's like I don't know what to say cuz I can't salute you for that because the fact of the matter is you were an abuser and you recognize the ripple effects that abuse that early in age can cause for other people, but not only for the tragic story of your cousin and how he wasn't able to properly express his emotions based off of what I'm thinking, but also the ripple effects that have come from you. You have been holding that in for like at least 2 decades. Like the fact that you realize and recognize that you might be the reason that not only your cousin went off the deep end, killed a pregnant lady, and messed up that household, but also messed up the household within your own family because now your cousin's in jail. So it just messes up stuff. It really causes ripple effects. And when people continue to ignore and not see the butterfly wing flap that started it, when people try to make other excuses or like just be like it was this, it had to be this, and stop looking everywhere other than one of the sources, it it continues to happen. Like you realize, oh, this isn't gonna stop. This is going to continue to happen as long as y'all don't address the start of the problem. And I feel like Kanye making that tweet, it sparked up like a small opportunity for people to be able to discuss the start of the problem. And then once again, the niggas just focused on gay. And it's like, it's so much deeper than that, my nigga. It is so much deeper than that. But I don't know, like, I told myself this video wasn't gonna be longer than 30. I feel like I touched on all the points. Family business, ripple effects, him having that guilt. Yeah, I think this is I think I got most of it out. Um, but yeah, we need accountability within our community. Um, Not only accountability, but recognizing and understanding that a lot of us weren't brought up with the proper tools to be able to navigate our emotions. And that's not the opportunity for excuses, but we got to be able to have compassion when there are certain things that we should be able to, that should be like common sense, should be like, oh yeah, just like any other thing. But it's, you know, with us, and like this is like generational stuff with us. Like people think, oh, just because like 100 or so years went by, people don't realize that trauma affects generations. Like little stuff like when us as black people run away when we laugh, when we like get like that is generational because back in slave times we were not supposed to laugh. So you would literally run another direction so the massa didn't see you.
But a lot of y'all don't know that. Y'all don't realize how deep this runs. So when you see little stuff like this that can easily affect us as black minds, and we're going through a lot of it, you gotta be able to break that down. And it starts with accountability. It starts with just realizing we gotta start caring for one another. We gotta actually be attentive and present. Or this shit will continue to happen for like more generations. But we can stop this cycle in this generation. We just have to acknowledge it and then do what we need to do, what we should do to stop it. That's my yap. I probably won't talk about Kanye anymore, so I'll refer to my last Kanye video where I'm like, this is pretty much what he's doing, and I feel like that cousin tweet was just another attention thing, just so he can get his attention or whatever. But the layers under that I don't even think he realized. Like, I'm taking that tweet more serious than Kanye is, because he doesn't even realize like the type of discussion he could have opened up with that fucking song. But instead, he wanted to make it a fucking attention grab. We off that. Y'all be great. Y'all be safe. Keep getting to that bag, and I'm gonna catch y'all in the next video. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this. What y'all think about Kanye's spiral or whatever. Y'all feel me on this? Like, what y'all think about my perspective of this? Let me know. Be great. Be safe. Peace.